We are at the Great Smoky Mountains.
Put your hand in my hand, darling, say go. Keep your eyes on the horizon, stay gold. All I need are your eyes, you're my arrow. Now we're running into the wild.
We had 3 days in the Smoky Mountains National Park, and there is so much to do and see there. But luckily I had all our days planned, and we also had a little help from an app.
I'm going to play commentary automatically as we drive around the park. I'll tell you about places that we might like to stop and see, and things we might like to do before we arrive at them.
When the rain comes, we'll head for the high ground. If the stars watching over us fade out, we'll keep running into the wild.
Our first stop was the Chimney tops, and we were lucky and unlucky to have beautiful blue skies while we were there, because that meant we would have less smoke in our Smokies. This trail was one of the prettiest hikes that we did in the Smokies. It was long and difficult. It was 3.5 miles, and there was an elevation gain of 1,400 feet, but it ended up being more than worth it. The last part of the hike, which is the pinnacles, is now closed. So this is the view at the end of the trail now. And there's the pinnacle. The way down ended up being even more exciting than the way up, because these two cubs and the mama bear surprised us on the side of the trail. And don't worry, we use telephoto lenses because I do not mess with wildlife. Next up was one of our several secret spots, the secret Thomas Divide Tunnel. There's really not a lot going on here, but it is a cool place to find and take some photos. Not so secret is the Newfound Gap parking area. It offers great views of the mountains, but everyone and their brother stops here. A little further up the road is Clingmans Dome, and it's another great view of the mountains, and it's just as crowded, but it has a short, steep, and tiring hike to a pretty cool observation tower. I should note here that the Smoky Mountains are the most visited national park in the United States, so things do get pretty crowded here. This is the highest point in the Great Smoky Mountains, and on a clear day you can see over 100 miles, which includes 7 states. Day 2, and we are exploring the Roaring Fork Motor Trail, which is a narrow 5.5-mile one-way loop that goes past some old farmsteads, hiking, streams, waterfalls, and our second secret place, the House of the Fairies. There are a few old farmsteads in the Smoky Mountains. Part of me is fascinated with the history, the other part's afraid they might be haunted. What we're really here to see is the somewhat secret House of the Fairies. It's only a 1-mile hike to the House of the Fairies, but that's if you know where it is, because like I said, it's a secret, so you have to work to find it. It took us an hour and a half to finally find it, and that was with the help of some people who knew where it was after they finally asked a ranger.
So this is what they mean by jutting.
Yeah, but this isn't even on the regular trail.
Never found that.
No, we would have never found that ever.
further up the Roaring Fork is the picturesque Grotto Falls. It was a little busier than we would have liked, but it was beautiful. We had another slightly secret hike planned where there's remnants of an old steam engine. But like Goldilocks, the Grotto Falls was too crowded and this was too secluded. So we ended up turning around and just continuing on the Roaring Fork Road.
I think there was another entrance.
Where there were more old buildings to see. I thought this was such a pretty drive and totally worth doing even if we never even got out of the car.
Okay then, looks like we're starting to make our way towards Cades Cove.
Today ended up being a mother-daughter day, and the two of us went to explore Cades Cove. It's another one-way looped road that will take us past historic buildings, hiking, waterfalls, and fingers crossed, more wildlife.
It's so weird because it looks so different from where we've been.
I'm standing on the edge of the other side of all that I've known. It's been
There's no stairs.
I take one last breath with my eyes open wide, smiling up into the skies. It begins with a step. For the world awaits like a mother celebrates a child's life has begun. Step across that line out into the sunshine. Oh Lord, my time has come. I'm gonna I'm gonna
This house gave me even more of the creeps than the others because it was kind of off the road a ways, and we were the only people to be found. So we didn't spend much time here and ended up hurrying back to the car because my motto is safety in numbers.
'Cause I will run and I will not grow weary until I'm face to face. I feel the pleasure.
This is one of the 3 old churches that are in the Cades Cove area.
For the glory of the Lord is a man who is completely alive. For the world awaits like a mother celebrates a child's life has begun. Step across that line out into the sunshine. Oh Lord, my time has come. I'm gonna run.
We got tricked hiking to Abrams Falls by our app. Mr. Gypsy said it was a 5-mile stroll on an easy path, and he lied. We were exhausted by the time we got to the waterfall, but it was worth the hike.
I'm gonna
Sometimes it's better when we have Matt with us to supervise because we can get ourselves into some situations. Pretty lucky when we got this bear sighting right off the main road. This stop was even more old buildings and a tiny visitor center. At this point, she is just as tired of seeing old buildings as you are. But here's one more anyways. So that was it. That was our day at Cades Cove. But we have one more secret place to find before we leave the Smoky Mountains. We had Matt back with us to help us find the secret troll bridge. To find the bridge, you'll need to hike the Little River Trail, which is considered moderate. About 100 feet into the trail, you'll see a small side trail.
You sure this whole thing's not it?
The directions I found were straightforward, but we were clearly confused. I had a feeling we were getting close once we started seeing these ruins of this old ghost town. And then they finally found it. Just a cute little troll bridge hidden in the Smoky Mountains. We all really had a great time here in the Smoky Mountains. It is an amazing national park, and there was definitely a lot of specific things you could do here.
Did you find a flower?
A mushroom. Oh! Low clearance. And you're just gonna eat the billy goat's gruff?
It's a puzzle.
Let's take a picture of the mill. This is exciting.
Mm-hmm.